Hi, this is Jim Buckingham, Buckingham Automotive. Welcome back to our weekly tips little event. It's come to my attention that a lot of people have been neglecting filters in their vehicle. And with the advent of the gas that we're using that has all the alcohol in it, it's causing a lot of problems. Some of the issues we run across in particular, people with filters that haven't been changed, aka this here, dirty filter. The engine can hardly breathe through that. Should look something, not necessarily that clean, but at least relatively clean so you can see through it. So comparison there is you see quite a difference. And speaking of gas, most vehicles have a filter of some sort. This happens to be an old one for an older vehicle, but they have a fuel filter that catches debris that comes from the fuel tank. And the vehicle I happen to have the day that this is on a carbureted vehicle. Vehicles that sit a lot, the fuel that we have nowadays separates. If you were to take and pour some in a jar and leave it sit for a couple of days, you would see the layers where it separates. All that muck gets sucked up into the tank because the pickup's in the bottom of the tank, and it sucks it up and clogs up these filters. So then the fuel system doesn't have the proper supply, so your vehicle doesn't run right. Plus any of that stuff that gets through the filter gets into the sophisticated fuel system that you have on today's cars, causing lots of problems. Not to mention it eats hoses, it eats the steel lines, eats everything. Government's not telling you about that, so you ought to think about that. Example of some of the stuff that you're seeing on rubber hoses and such. If you look down here closely, you'll see cracks that develop over time. They get cracks in them, and those can cause fuel leaks, and particularly on a vehicle that has a fuel injection, it has a fuel pump, it has higher pressure. So you need to keep those things in mind whenever you have your vehicle in for service. Make sure that you mention to your technician whenever to look at it. If you smell gas, you definitely need to have it checked out immediately, because the high pressure fuel systems, it's almost like a bomb going off. If that fuel leaks, it sprays on things, catching on fire. It's not only gas that causes problems. You have power steering fluid that can cause problems. Brake fluid can cause problems. I know from a fact my son-in-law, the brake fluid from his clutch, he pushed the clutch in, the line blew onto the exhaust, caught on fire, burned, and struck to the ground. So it does happen. So not be scaring you, but things you need to keep in mind. So that's all for today. You have a good weekend, and hopefully we'll see you back next Friday. Thank you.